I never expected to be doing this event organised by Berne of Tyneside Vagabonds, because I never expected to be riding 1,000 kilometres, this or any other season. Life, however, is full of surprises. The evolution of my first full season of Audax has been entirely organic, though it might be mistaken for having been planned perfectly. 100, 150, 200s, 300s, a 400 and a 600 all fell into place together with participation in this event when entries were reopened. Not wanting to hamper myself with administering a GoPro during such a long event, I'd only intended to take photographs using my phone. Being much harder to activate and downright hazardous in urban environments or when riding in groups, this offering is much more episodic than I would have had it. Apologies for shake, wobble, jitter, and particularly the wind noise picked up by the unfiltered audio. I've tried to ensure that it doesn't become too intrusive, and I've used captions as appropriate.
Have a good start.
Have a good one. Bye bye. Bye. Slightly. Have a good one, Scott.
Got a tailwind at the minute, and that's been great. Managed to get with a group, decently working group out in Clarence Field, and that went pretty well. Decent average speed, and now just enjoying the climbs. What a view! I'll be heading up there very shortly. We're descending to into Eskdalemuir now. The Eskdalemuir Community Hub is a hospitality outlet I've visited many times and come to value highly over recent years and months, when on Audax or riding independently. When the weather's grim, it's a much anticipated place of sanctuary. It took about 20 minutes at the Eskdalemuir Hub, but I've lost my arm warmers. So anybody finding or having found a pair of black Provian arm warmers online, I didn't lose them, I just left them. Too much of a hurry. Sort of turn off to go east to Hawes. I've been following the guys in front for some time. Strong down by the Ettrick water. The clouds come and gone, little bits of rain here and there, but nothing much. The next 30 miles to Control 4, which for those arriving before 8 PM would be within the Olive Tree Cafe in Newcastleton, were divided neatly as follows: 10 undulating but scenic miles to the border town of Hawick, 10 long miles uphill before the equally long drop into Lidsdale, during which time the rain clouds that would challenge riders further down the field began to accumulate. So, see ya. I will. Next stop is Kirby Stephen via Carlisle. Hopefully it'll be easy to get through Carlisle with the traffic situation, as it's going to be around 9 o'clock, I would have thought. I think it's a little water. We should be back into England now. And there we go. Well, I've just stopped to phone the missus, to be fair. Headwind's still a thing. It's a little bit sheltered here, but you know, it gets dealt with really. It's become such a thing that it's no longer a thing. Whoa, there's some belted galloways up there. Well, I'm in Carlisle. It's 131 miles, so still got about 45 to go. It's a bit tense at the minute, plenty busy. I've just nearly had a guy off his bike, didn't hear him coming, turned right in the road. He was looking to stay upright and it would have been my fault. Anyway, no harm done. Everybody's still cycling fit.
6 kilo, you would see it. Yeah. It's, yeah.
Well, I've had a coffee at Cafe Nero in Ripon. My backside's giving me some chip as per usual, and now I've got all the flat stuff to do. We've used the original route, a couple of us. Got through one set of roadworks and the second set weren't there, so that's worked quite well. I think this is probably the better route as well. At least it avoided going over Lamps Moss early doors. But that was 50 miles. I think I set away at 4:10, got in here about 8 o'clock. So not too bad. I've absolutely no idea how I'm going to get to the Humber Bridge and thence to Lincoln. The legs do not, they doth protest too much. Having left the hills behind for now, it was onto the flatlands and a very different kind of riding stress, one I'm less comfortable with. At 86 miles, this section to Stamford Bridge was the longest between controls. For my own route card, which is usually fairly accurate, I'd made the mistake of not factoring in the rest stop I'd taken at Ripon, which, including photographs, put me about half an hour down, with a similar amount of time lost after another stop at Haxby. Otherwise I'd have been as close to schedule as the rest of the route card shows. If you're interested, I've shown the route cards, which I make for all my rides, at the end of the video. Battle Cross. First control of the day is Stamford Bridge after an 89-mile hike where we still had a couple of stops. That was quite a long one, and again, to nothing for my backside. But we're here, and next one is Howden. joined up with a few other riders after leaving the services at Howden. I'd have been uncomfortable driving it at the pace it was going, but it was relatively easy to sit in the wheels. This got me to the Humber Bridge quicker than I'd have managed by myself, and provided enough of a distraction to get me through the lowest point in my ride, just before the bridge, when I was honestly asking myself why I was doing it. Just got caught in a canny little downpour, which I'm hoping is going to pass fairly quickly. There was a big cloud and the wind has died down since yesterday, so you know it's not being driven particularly fast, but it was heavy. I've still got about 40 miles to go. Look at that.
Off at Bassingham.
Way!
Straight down. There you go. Just keep following it round, right round to the front, and then you'll see later by.
Smashing. All right. Well, that was the day's first objective ticked off. Now I had to decide what I was going to do about the second. An 80-mile loop back to Bassingham, visiting the southernmost control, number 11, at Great Dalby in Leicestershire, roughly 40 miles each way. I was feeling okay, so decided to have something to eat, followed by an hour's rest or sleep on the air mattress in my drop bag, then press on through the night to Great Dalby, which was also designated as a sleep stop. I'd decide what to do next when I got there. Without the benefit of clouds, the night was cold enough to require gloves, with the result that this image of St Michael's Church in the now entirely darkened hamlet of Eastwell was all I have to offer. Unfortunately, this included the village hall at Great Dalby, so I've taken a couple of images from their website to acknowledge what was, for me, the best sleep stop of them all, one I'd almost discounted. After quietly consuming a truly memorable beef stew in what, compared to Kirby Stephen, was an almost monastic hush, I was able to commandeer an airbed and some warm woolen blankets to grab a couple of hours of much needed quality sleep.
Thank you.
That's one of the pleasures of riding overnight. I've quickly found that if you have a nice sunrise, you're there to appreciate it. I'm surprised I noticed it all because I'm quite tired still. But I had a good rest last night. I wasn't sort of stressed as being a major control, except it was the furthest south. But it was excellent. Blow up beds, very comfortable. Blankets, very comfortable. Beef stew, absolutely gorgeous. Again, had a little bit of bread with it, lathered with butter. I've got a few coming past now. All right. The services in Grantham, which is the first free control, and we're back to Bassingham, and I had originally planned to maybe have a sleep there again, but the 2.5 hours or so I got at Great Dalby were excellent. I feel invigorated. Don't know how long it'll last like, and then it's I think it's about 50 mile, 60 mile up to Goole, then back to Howden, and that killer flat stretch. I'm not a fan of it. Back to Stamford Bridge, and then, you know, we're heading for North Allerton.
Okay, well, best of luck.
All right, thanks very much. So this is Bassingham, and I'm just about to say goodbye to it. It's been a great location for this type of thing. This is the one we've kind of crossed to before and after, effectively. I didn't have too much in the way of, I had a cup of tea and something that I'd brought, because I've been big on soups. So I haven't really unloaded myself of too much stuff, but hopefully we're gonna have some pretty decent weather, and if we plan it right, we might get this done without anything too drastic. There is bad weather on the Pennines at the minute apparently, but yeah, as long as we don't hurry, we should avoid it. Forgot to mention, I got my arm warmers back. They were in the lost property pile. So duly returned from Esdalemuir. So that was nice. It's a good start of the day. Well, not exactly a start, I was up at 4:30. Flat. Still flat. Cutting the corner northeastward from the River Trent to the River Ouse and Goole, where the next control was located at Glue's services on the M62, meant fighting a strong crosswind that until now had been our ally. As tough as it was, the legs prevailed, and after a cafe stop at the services, I fell in with a group back through Howden, but let them go on the road to Stamford Bridge, where I planned to seek out the monument marking the site of the battle that was fought there in 1066, the precursor to the Battle of Hastings. 2 information controls were all that lay between me and the next sleep stop at North Allerton. The first at Barton Hill, crossing the A64, the next at Brafferton, a couple of miles south of Thirsk. The roads were rolling as far as Easingwold, as they skirted the edge of the Howardian Hills. Then it was flat again, through Brafferton, all the way to North Allerton, where I'd be reunited with my drop bag, and where I'd need to make the decision about whether to press on to the final control, also a sleep option, at Mickleton in Teesdale. Well, it's 4 o'clock and I'm leaving the last sleep control, which is North Allerton. Weather's good. The wind's dropped. It's not raining. In fact, everything's drying up. But I think there's chance for a bit of rain today. I went from here to Tortoise. I was 14th into the control, but I'm one of the final ones leaving it, but that's just to tie in with the missus. It's closed. The info control at Staindrop was the penultimate control. The final one lay a few miles away at Mickleton, where the village hall had been used as a sleep stop. I'd considered pushing on last night, but poor weather and pick-up arrangements meant that there was no good reason to do it. Consequently, Mickleton, for all who'd done likewise, was another info control. From there it was a short ride to the main town of Middleton and Teesdale, from where the long ascent through the Middle and Upper Dale over the watershed at Yad Moss would begin. River Tees just above low force. English rivers haven't been too bad, but the Scottish rivers are well in spate. However, this one, when you can see it running into that channel opposite, it's there's a lot of water knocking about. We're making our way up Teesdale now. We're about halfway up at the High Force Hotel. So far the rain's held off, and that was unexpected, but it might well yet. There's certainly some clouds in the sky. Hopefully I get to Yad Moss and be able to take a little bit of picturesque video rather than driving rain, but it's all taken over nicely. There's no pressure on. In fact, I'm not even sure that my missus will be there by the time I finish. But Yad Moss is the biggie. Get over that, job done really. This is one of my favourite parts of Teesdale. If you could see it, that road in the background there, that goes over to Cow Green, and beyond that Dufton Fell. We can't quite see Crossfell, Great Dunfell there behind and down in the cloud. But I quite like it when the cloud's down. It looks great. I've mentioned it before, but people talk about it being desolate, and it's just not my perception of. I mean, I'm heavily biased, of course, but this is one of my favourite dales. Anyway, a couple of more miles to the top, maybe just a few more than that actually, and then a long descent down into Alston. Quite looking forward to that. But the rain's stayed away so far. I mean, I absolutely cannot complain, but I'm sure I'll find some way of doing so. In on Yad Moss just because we've been hanging around, and I promised myself this, so hopefully this fast descent to Alston. From Alston, England's joint highest market town, the event finish lay 17 miles away in Milton's Village Hall, tracking the Pennine Way and South Tyne Trail past the Roman fort of Epiarchum and the impressive railway viaduct at Lamley. The only obstacles were a couple of minor hills, which meant that the final few miles heading into the Tyne Valley could be enjoyed in sunshine, though with heavy rain approaching for those finishing within the next couple of hours. Thank you! Smashing.
Do you need pen to put the answer in? Shut.
Thanks and admiration go to the organiser Andy Berne for an outstanding event that would have been impossible without the hard-working, resourceful and ever-cheerful teams of volunteers. In particular Rachel at Milton Village Hall for whipping up a fantastic keto lunch. Also to Julia, who rode the event for the prompt return of my leggings, and last but certainly not least my Mrs. Diane, who I always rely on heavily in ventures of such a nature, directly or indirectly.